Hello, and welcome to the show.
And if you already saw this part, hello again.
We were actually streaming for about a minute or two before we realized that we're not actually streaming. Hopefully we are now.
Oh wait, no, it went off.
Uh-oh. If we are coming through, give us a sign
There it goes.
in the chat.
Yes. Good.
All right.
We're live.
So I'm going to continue with my announcement. This is mostly for our local viewers. We realize there are very few of you who watch that live, but for our rebroadcast viewers, we are having a Hybrid Center event Friday, November 28th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Location is 18045 Rowland Street, City of Industry, and we're having exclusive event-only deals to celebrate, well, not really to celebrate Black Friday, because we realize you guys all hear that enough, and we're kind of irreverent about the whole thing anyways, and that's why we're doing an entire month of Black Friday deals. But at any rate, it is the 1-year anniversary of our very own little Hybrid Center, and it has really become the center of our local community. And so we are inviting everybody to come enjoy some refreshments, including coffee and cake, and a rededication kind of a thing.
Wait, there's going to be coffee and cake at the event?
Yes. Coffee, cake, and exclusive deals.
You should have started off that announcement with that bit of information.
All right, I'll start again.
no, I got
A
it.
week from today at the Hybrid Center, there will be coffee and cake.
Done. That's all you need. I'm
And
there.
the cake is not a lie.
I'll be
It's
right
for
there.
real.
I'll be first in line.
All right,
Well, that's
anyway.
exciting news. Thank you, Jenny. And we've got some good stories today. By the way, if you guys have any questions, tech-related or personal, go ahead and tweet them at us to @GearheadGirl27 to hit up Jenny, or myself @ForeverAKyle. Once again, on Twitter, we will be taking your questions at some point during this stream and answering them to the best of our ability. So if you have any questions, hold back from the Twitch chat and go over to Twitter and ask us that way.
Yes, because I'm not logged into Twitch. I can't remember my password, and I haven't had time to reset it.
I'm logged into Twitch, so I can see what you guys are saying, so behave yourselves. And Rachel, our moderator, is also watching
Yes.
you very, very closely.
But
Can't
we
talk
don't
right now.
usually get any.
No, you guys are pretty good for the most part, so
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
Anyway, okie dokie. So our first story today comes to you from Nokia. Actually, it comes to you from Extreme Tech. Kyle, this one's one of yours.
Yes, it is. So basically, if you guys have already heard about the Nokia N1 tablet, it's running pretty much stock Android 5.0 Lollipop, and if you can tell from the pictures, or the picture that's up there right now,
I'm trying.
it has a striking resemblance to the iPad from Apple.
Maybe you guys can explain this to me, but when we're running a dual monitor setup on this system, getting the mouse cursor over to the other screen is like getting on the platform at Hogwarts, and I have to do it at a bit of a run.
Getting on the train? Getting on the train at Hog.
Yeah, getting on the train to Hogwarts. It's
That's why I always sit
I
here,
don't-
because I don't have to mess around with that.
under...
She has like 2 monitors and a bunch of stuff going on.
And the
here right now.
cursor won't go from one monitor to the other, and I don't know why. There it goes. Now I'm just not going to move it back to the other screen.
You know, if you had
Sorry.
a Nokia N1, this would fix all of your problems.
I'm sure.
Anyway, so basically, this has been floating around the internet just recently. It's kind of creating some controversy, I guess. I can't talk today. Controversy. There's a lot of controversy surrounding this tablet because it looks a lot like an iPad. Even the button layout, the placement, the camera placement, the buttons,
Right.
the unibody anodized aluminum frame enclosure, everything is, even the speakers with the little holes at the bottom is exactly like an iPad.
How are
so
they getting away with this?
that's what I was wondering. Of all the people to try to rip off or to mimic, Apple should be the last one on your list because they're lawsuit happy. So, but I mean, it does look like a great tablet, all things considered, because it does have better specs than the iPad. Than the
larger bezel.
does have a slightly larger bezel.
That bezel.
Yeah, that's
Maybe that's how they're
true.
getting away with it.
Right, that 1 millimeter difference is negating everything else, all the other similarities. If you look at it, it's a 7.9 inch screen. I think the resolution is 2048 by 1536. And it's got an 8 megapixel camera, which bests the iPad at 5 megapixels. But really, the crazy thing about it is the price. Obviously, a lot of Android tablets, every Android tablet is cheaper than an iPad. This is about $250 for the 32 gig model. An iPad 3 mini or iPad mini 3, which only has 16 gigs, will run you about $400. And the specs are similar, but not quite as good as the N1. So that's something to consider. Let us know what you guys think about this, like stunning, like blatant similarity between these two tablets, and if that bothers you, or whatever. You know, it's free game, it's open game. Everyone has the right to do whatever they want as long as they're not copying someone exactly, which is kind of what they're doing. But anyway, it's got an Intel Atom Z3580 system on a chip.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure the Apple product is also running an Intel processor.
yes, but I believe this is, well, I don't know. I don't know if it is, but I don't know if the iPad mini is running an Intel processor. But they're both quad-core, so they're, like I said, they're similar, but they're slightly better specs on the N1. I mean, it's a newer tablet, obviously, so it does have that advantage of being a newer product. But what was the other crazy thing? Oh, one of the most important things about it that I forgot to mention is that it's one of the first devices to feature the reversible Type-C USB connector for charging.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
That's better than the iPad.
Yes, because iPad, it's not reversible, and it's the Lightning connector.
Also, I'm assuming with the
$50.
Nokia, you're going to be able to, store other. Is there external storage? Does it have a mini SD?
You know what? It
expandable
doesn't
storage?
look like there is. Just based on the unibody design, I didn't see
Oh,
a
yeah,
slot, so I'm guessing not. But it's offered in, like I said, 32 gigs for $250 is perfectly reasonable for me. And honestly, when I'm traveling with my Nexus 7, which doesn't have expandable storage, I do have 32 gigs onboard memory for that, and it's usually served me quite fine. I even took it with me, I think, on the Taiwan trip, and I still had enough content on it to watch movies on the way there and on the way back for a 12, 14-hour flight. So unless you're dumping a crap ton of music on it, it's doable.
Rachel just pointed out to me from the other side of the room that underneath me it's reading Kyle, and underneath Kyle it's reading Jennifer.
Some people were like,
But
"He has such a nice haircut."
I think you guys are smart enough to know which one is which is why I'm not switching it, because I think it would be an insult to your intelligence to assume that you can't figure out that I'm Jenny and he's Kyle.
Like she had to put them right under who they were so we would know.
I know you guys are smart.
We're that
I know you
smart.
can do it.
Yeah, we believe in you, and that's why we
believe in you. Right after I'm sure we had like 50 troll comments about it being wrong in the chat.
So that's why we purposely did it that way.
Yes. All right, next story is on the Chorizo chip. I mean,
Chorizo?
not the Chorizo chip.
The tastiest
That's
AMD
what I had
device
for
ever.
lunch.
Wait, so it is
Carrizo.
Carrizo if you're Snoop Dogg, and Carrizo for the layman's.
It's from AMD Hizzo.
Sorry, I was reading, I completely missed that one. I would have totally bounced off of you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Leaving me.
Leaving you hanging.
Anyway, John Byrne from AMD has announced that they are on target to release the new AMD APU called Carrizo, and it will be coming out in the first half of 2015. They are very optimistic about this. It's being benchmarked, and they're running tests on it and doing everything it actually is in physical form now. And this is going to hopefully be their most, they're calling it their most powerful APU to date. Running
I would hope so.
x86 and all that good stuff. Hopefully won't get as hot as the last round.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can check it out on, I hate this.
Was there any talk in the article about Mantle, if they're still going strong with that, or if they've made any revisions to how that might interact?
No, he doesn't say anything about that.
Like, we'll just sweep this one under the rug, guys. We'll just pretend Mantle never happened.
Honestly, have you ever heard him talk, John Byrne talk?
I believe I've heard him talk at one of the events that we went to, a press conference for them.
He strikes me as like the kind of guy who probably used to be an MI6.
Really?
And I just...
The gang?
No, MI6.
Mission Impossible? I'm sorry, that's M16. Right? MS6.
The Secret Service of Great
Secret
Britain
Service of Great Britain.
is called
Duh.
MI6.
I knew that. I
just
watch
feel like
Bond movies.
I just feel like John Byrne, like if you disagreed with him, your elbow would quickly be snapped the wrong direction.
Right, I'm sure he shares blood with Liam Neeson. That's how scary he is.
So I just kind of am like, yeah, sure, man, whatever you say.
Ah, screw those Intel guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway,
Fair market.
So they're very excited about it, and I'm really hoping that this time around our expectations are met, because they kind of did this with the last round of APUs. you know, Kaveri, and it was a big deal, and we were all super excited about it. And they are good processors. They're just
so hyped up.
Good as the hype.
They're so hyped up, and it, you know, I get it, the whole marketing, song and dance type thing, but
and unfortunately, that's about all John goes over here. Is a lot of marketing stuff, not a lot of numbers announced.
Yeah, this is kind of just a teaser.
Kind of a teaser, but basically just giving us an update, letting us know it is scheduled to launch on time.
Right.
And don't worry, it will be here. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it doesn't even matter if there are like actual numbers in that video anyway, because usually they're always skewed, right? You'll see a chart where it's like last generation bar graph is right here, then this generation is like way up here. Then you look at the y-axis and you notice that it's only like 2 number difference. Like they didn't start at 0, so it's a delta of like 2 frames per second or something like that. But anyway.
The next story is
interesting enough. We'll keep our eye on it.
On the new Gorilla Glass. This is yours. I didn't realize that Corning is the company that made Gorilla Glass.
I didn't either. What else do they make?
Flatware that's really durable.
Really?
Yeah, you know, like all the plates that you can't break.
No way. No kidding.
Those thin ones that they're really, really affordable, and you can smack them on a counter and they don't break.
I wonder if that's how they got into that industry, the tech industry. Like, wow, this Tupperware is really resilient to droppage, and then like, we should do cell phone stuff.
Yeah, it's not Tupperware. It's actually, well, they do make containers, but primarily they make like dishes that college students buy because they're like $1 or $2 a plate or something like that. And you can
college
buy
students
them
are
in
always
big, thick
throwing
stacks,
things around and
bowls and stuff,
knocking things over.
But anyway, so
Gorilla,
tell us about this.
Okay, so basically they did a test, a 1 meter drop test using a very fancy machine. Somewhere in the video you can see them. I think if you skip maybe halfway through to that first video, they use this fancy machine. There's a picture of it right there, where they do a 1 meter drop test of a Gorilla Glass 4 treated cell phone,
and then they have this chick walk down the street. Yeah,
the chick is not part of the test. She's just there for eye candy. Oh, I dropped my phone. It still works. I'm just talking on it right now.
She lowered it to her knee before she dropped it.
Looks like someone's making their nail appointment. So anyway, 1 meter drop test, and it turns out that about 80% of the time, the Gorilla Glass 4 was resilient to any kind of cracks, anything that might cause you to replace or having to replace your LCD screen, which is good, or your glass anyway. So it's about twice as effective as Gorilla Glass 3 was, which is handy, but pretty much the same performance as far as optics and scratch resilience. So it's still going to be.
Waiting for them to get to the Gorilla Glass that doesn't break, because they keep showing all these tests of Gorilla.
Right, every other competitor.
There it is.
But
same test, no breaks.
Yeah, so just something to bear in mind. I'm sure a lot of upcoming smartphones. I don't even know. Obviously, this isn't on any smartphones yet, but we can expect to start seeing this coming out probably in 2015.
I wonder if it's going to be on the new S6.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that is they're a leading brand for that type of thing. So just thought you guys should know while we're still in the hardware segment.
All right, shuffling over to software now. Some of you may have heard about this, but the European Union wants to break up Google. And that doesn't mean like they want to break up with Google. It's not like Google's getting a Dear John. What they want to do is they want to separate Google products from their search engine. So when you search for dancing monkey on trampoline with small dog, you don't immediately get the highest rated YouTube video as your first search result. That's what they want. They want to investigate how Google assigns search result priority, and they want that search result priority removed from Google products. So that
well, it's pretty much if any website or link is associated with Google, it gets priority over anything else.
Exactly.
Most likely. So.
And Microsoft has been crying a foul on it. And
Microsoft is in favor of this or against this?
No, against it.
Right.
Or no, they're in favor of separating it because Google is tanking Bing as a search engine. It says like they have the 90% share in Europe. And so other small companies...
Bing tanks itself.
And Microsoft...
It's a self-tanking organism.
Want it taken away. And Microsoft also says that their deal is that it makes it hard for Bing to search YouTube. And they also block advertisers from accessing data, but really, is that a bad thing?
Wait, why does this have anything to do with what Bing is able to show on its search engine? Like,
I don't know. I think they're.
is that just because it's Bing?
They're just kind of like sitting in the little, you know, pop-up play place thing of search engines going, Google is winning.
I
don't use Bing
what they're
'cause
doing
it's
right now.
completely slammed with advertisements and choked with sponsored results that I can't ignore. At least
Yeah.
with Google, with Google Chrome, I can download the ad blocker, or I can easily separate through sponsored results, because it's pretty obvious. They put them right at the top. They put a separating line. If you don't want to pay attention to them, you just scroll past them.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I just typed in dancing monkey on my computer, and yeah, at the very top is videos of dancing monkeys on YouTube. But I mean, honestly, if you're typing in dancing monkey, chances are you're going to want to watch a video of it.
Yeah.
You're not going to know, like, what is a dancing monkey or what is the benefit of a dancing monkey. You just want to see one in action dancing.
I guess.
So this is
Do we
fine.
really? This is one of those things that, like, we don't complain about it mostly as users because it works and it works well, and none of us really seem that broken up about it.
Yeah.
But as we're getting more and more heated on the, you know, net neutrality debates and stuff like that, we're all a little bit more aware of what exactly is getting prioritized in our internet feeds. So, I don't know, I think it's good to have diversity in the market, but I'm not sure that I don't want Bing to be a priority search engine, because it just chocks my everything full of ads.
Yeah, I'm all for diversity in the market too, but if it's at the cost of taking something that is working so well already and ruining that or changing that, then I feel like it's just at that point, it's like, well, he has all this, so I want some too. It's kind of like you said, they're in their little playpen throwing a tantrum, essentially.
So the next thing that I found on Business Insider, this one is one I really want you all to pay attention to. If you have a account on Sony, Microsoft, and 2K, which if we're playing Borderlands, guess what we all do? Time to change your passwords.
Uh-oh. Hackers?
Hackers
afoot.
group by the name of
Anonymous.
Derp Trolling.
Really? Derp trolling?
This has to be one of ours.
I know it was one of you guys. I could count on one hand how many of you in the chat room are part of this.
I have to laugh at the name. Like, I obviously don't like that they are compromising people's, you know, sensitive information. But I feel like something like this is mostly to just expose these companies' holes in their security.
Right.
Because we wouldn't be aware of holes in their security if they weren't found to have done it. I mean, obviously somebody from their organization came forward and said, oh, by the way, we just hacked all of you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe do something about that.
If anything, these hackers are bringing awareness to the problem, the real root of the problem, which is user security and privacy.
Yeah, which these companies, as we are paying patrons of them, should be putting things in motion to protect. And for the most part, they do. Obviously not good enough. So anyway, PlayStation Network, Windows Live, 2K Gaming Studios, and probably anything connected to that. So Steam, Uplay, anything. Go ahead and go change your passwords again.
You should just change your passwords for everything every couple months. And some would argue, including Steve, change it like every other day.
Yeah, so it says right here, Derp Trolling in no way wants to harm our children by leaking such damaging data. It's only a warning to the companies. So, Derp at Gaben the Lord.
Wait, children? It doesn't want to damage our children? Wait, what children? Why are we talking about children? Like people that are playing games?
Yeah.
Most of the people playing games these days are like in their 40s.
No kidding.
In their 30s. Children. Well, I guess they are children.
We're children of the game.
We're all children in some ways.
I don't know.
Respects. Well, I mean, that's you know, I think, like you said, good to change your password, but as the hacker group themselves said, they don't mean to, they're not intending to hurt anyone. They, like you said, just want to expose holes in the security measures.
You know, this is horrible, but I change my passwords a lot because I forget them. And then I like that a lot of these companies have fail-safes, so you can't reuse a password, so I can't like change it to what I think the password was. you know, you have to create a completely new one. So my passwords are regularly changing.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like actively protecting my security. It's just because.
What again was it on my
notes.
Instagram account a few months ago that got hacked?
Tuffybutts.com.
Tuffybutts.com. If you guys saw tuffybutts.com on my Instagram a couple months ago, I did not post that.
And if
I was
you
hacked.
missed it, you can go through the pictures on my Twitter feed and find it.
Yeah.
It happened probably around, what was it, like August? Probably around August.
Sure. Sounds good. I've changed my password like 10 times on Instagram since that
All right,
terrifying
so
event.
let's take a break now and answer some questions on our Twitters.
All right. So should I favorite?
Yes, favorite.
Favoriting
away.
everything. Blah, 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 blah,
Favorite
blah.
all the things. Here's Steve drinking some porter. Someone favorited that. That's from last week.
Wax, wax, wax. Oh, that's a good question. All right, I favorited some. Guys, if you haven't sent your questions yet, go ahead and tweet to us. You can see our Twitter handles down below at the bottom of the screen, and we will answer them right now. And don't give your passwords out on the Twitch chat. Come on, guys. That's not smart. Unless it's a password to someone else's account, then it's hilarious. Senor Derp. Everyone's just saying derp in the chats. We've gone full, you know what.
Gone full circle?
No, Tropic Thunder.
Are they getting, what?
You never go full.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Can't
Full
say
circle.
that word.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so
Oh, that's not Twitter.
thank you, Rooster, for the lovely controversy.
Did you favorite it?
I did.
Where is it?
Can bring that up.
Isn't it here? Hang on, let me refresh.
That really makes me want to play Contra.
Here's Kyle's favorites.
I used to play that for hours on end.
All right, I like this one from Aaron.
That's a good one.
What are some of your favorite tech products of 2014 that you use on a regular basis? That we use on a regular basis? That's cute. I honestly haven't bought any major tech products in 2014 unless you count my gaming PC.
Right, I was going to say, my computer, my X99 build that is still going strong, that I edit on nearly every day and browse the web on constantly. It's overclocked. It's given me a lot of great mileage so far, and that's the thing that sticks out most in my mind.
Yeah, this year has been a pretty slow year for me purchasing new gadgets.
Yeah, I did do a review on my own channel on these Bluetooth headphones that were like $50 on Amazon, or I mean, just, you know, but you can probably look for them anywhere else. Don't get them on Amazon. Sorry. Anyway, it's about the tech, people. At the end of the day, it's about the products.
It's about the products, not where you got them.
And this was a really great product, and I've been using it constantly. I actually have it in the other room, and it's Bluetooth, so I listen to it without interfering with anyone else's workflow. I really like that a lot.
I think my biggest new tech purchase wasn't a new purchase. It's not a new piece of tech. It's from 2011, and that was my car.
That's a good piece of tech right there.
I got the Mazda Speed 3 with the tech package, so it has like all integrated everything, plus keyless entry, keyless start, navigation. It has a 6-disc CD changer, but I couldn't even tell you where my CDs are, so that's not getting used. But
plus, they're discs. I haven't used a disc in ages.
yeah.
Cars
anyway,
don't need optical drives.
Anyway, I think we've beaten
You
that
can
one.
quote me on that.
All right. If
yes.
Lamont asks us, if you were to buy a console, what would it be, and what exclusive games would you play? I would buy a Wii U, and I would play Smash Brothers.
Yes. I would have. Wow. Our answers line up on that one.
Did you know you
Give
can
it to
build
me.
your own levels in the new Smash Brothers?
Yes, I did.
I actually just found that out last week and
Yes.
lost my mind.
Yeah. Did you watch that super long video about like the 50 things you need to know? I'm like, 50?
Jeez.
It was like a 30-minute long video, but it was really informative. There's so many cool things that you can do on it now. They have 8-person Smash. You can play up to 8 people, not through the internet. Like 8 people on one screen, one Wii U, for the Ultimate Brawl Bash, which is super cool. And for that reason, they have super big levels that just go on and on and on. But then the problem with that is if you have 8 people playing on a map, and everyone's spread out, all your characters become like these little dots on the screen,
And so when you smash each other, it's like Pac-Man fighting?
it's like little supernovas just exploding far off in the distance. Like little Pac-Man fight, exactly. Eating little pills.
That's funny.
But yeah, I would have to agree. Wii U, obviously a PS4 or an Xbox One would be nice to have, but I feel like those platforms offer the types of games that I can already get a better experience on a PC. But something like the Wii U, like Super Smash Brothers, it's never going to come out for the PC. Something like that, or like Mario Kart, for example.
Mario Kart, yeah, that's perfect.
So, I mean, something like that where that console is actually the most different, offers the types of games that are the most different from what you can find on a PC.
Nintendo is Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
And even though lots of different game developers develop for Nintendo,
Right.
I feel like they have a lot more exclusivity when it comes to that type of thing.
Yeah.
The only other game that was exclusive to a console that I wanted to play and didn't get to because of its console exclusivity was Sunset Overdrive. I had a blast playing it at E3. I could not get enough of how fun that game was, and I refused to buy an Xbox One just for one game.
True.
I haven't had the kind of quality fun, like just pure blissed out fun on an Xbox One that I've had on a Wii U, and for that I am seriously considering purchasing one.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I can't fault you for that.
Game of the Year, William Grecia, you have read our minds, and we are going to be talking extensively about the nominations of the Game Awards in just a moment.
Do you play any simulators? I
No,
do not.
because I suck.
I kind of want to get into Elite Dangerous.
Steve is having a total blast.
Steve was playing it earlier, but that game looks super fun. The only issue is that it is a full-blown simulator, so you need to have like a full-on joystick and throttle switch and everything. You can barely play the game with a standard keyboard and mouse, so that might be one thing holding me back from playing it, but it does look super fun.
Okay, so Brian Wallen wants to know, what's your thoughts on the recent RGB keyboard mouse everything movement? I like Razer, but what do you think? I think that I like Razer too. I've always liked Razer. I think they put a lot of attention to detail in their products, and even though people think that, you know, their marketing is a little overboard and people go way too like fan frenzy on their stuff, I just know that when people were comparing the K70 to the Chroma only won because of sheer ease of use.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually had my hands on a Chroma quite yet, but
yeah, I haven't either because they won't give it up over at a Game Crate.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
because
I
they love
mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, I do agree for something like an RGB keyboard when you're getting that complex with your lighting combinations and whatnot. Ease of, like, an intuitive software is very important because, as many of you know, like, the K70 RGB's user's manual is probably like 150.
This mouse you're using, this little rocket, for example, as like full color light show going on here.
True.
To me, the priority when buying a peripheral should first be ease of use and comfort.
Yeah.
Because you're going to spend a lot of time holding it, handling it. I think Razer keyboards, I like their layouts. They're very easy to type on. I don't get frustrated with them. And I like their mice. I use one at home. Headsets are hit and miss with me all the way across the board. And to me, a light-up headset is, I mean, no one's, who sees you wearing your light-up headset?
No one.
Yeah.
My cats.
That's what I'm saying.
They never care.
So, if having a light show on your keyboard is important to you, then you can do the most with the K70 as far as like really the wow factor customization, because you can definitely get way into it. But if you just want something that's more plug and play, go with the Chroma, or I know there's a few more coming down the pipe that are even easier than that one.
Yeah.
It's literally plug it in, pick one of the 15 preset profiles, and ta-da, suddenly it's like the Walt Disney Fantastic Water Show on your keyboard.
Fantasia up in here.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so I think that now brings us to my next story, which is The Game Awards!
Oh!
The announcement today has come up for the nominees, and Game Crate did a little write-up on some of their favorite categories, which included Best Performance, so that's going to be Best Voice Performance, not Best How Did It Run on Your Platform Performance. Best Indie Game and Developer of the Year, as well as Best Online Experience, Mobile Handheld, and Game of the Year. So I went over to the actual nominees for the Game Awards to take a look at what they, what some of the other categories that I care about. So first up, Best Narrative, we've got South Park, Stick of Truth, The Walking Dead Season 2, The Wolf Among Us, Valiant Hearts, who I hope wins, and Wolfenstein: The New Order. Do you have any experience with these, any of these? I heard Stick of Truth was just awesome. Wolf Among Us is also quite good, Rachel says.
You know, I'm very familiar with all of these games, maybe except for Wolfenstein a little bit, and you were telling me about Valiant Hearts earlier.
Your former roommate, Brian, got Wolfenstein, played it for a whole 4 hours, and sent it back.
Really?
Said it just was not worth it.
Well,
so.
I guess that explains why I haven't heard as much about that game as the other titles here.
Yeah.
Walking Dead obviously is just has had so much great feedback and such a huge response. And The Wolf Among Us is by the same developers. They're both Telltale, so obviously there's some magic going on there.
Isn't Last of Us Telltale as well?
I believe Last of Us is
Okay.
Naughty Dog?
Naughty
Yeah,
Dog.
same people that did Uncharted. The Uncharted series.
So
but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it went to Walking Dead or what was the one at the top for that?
Oh,
this is Best
Stick
Narrative?
of Truth.
Stick of Truth, yeah. My buddy Mike was playing that just constantly. He hasn't picked up a video game in 2 years, and that's the only game that he's played in the last 2 years, and he was just completely hooked. And I mean, it's the only game I've ever heard someone playing and just laughing hysterically the whole time.
I like that.
Which is really cool.
I like that because I feel like a lot of these narrative games, and Valiant Hearts is quite good, really draws the emotion out of you. But I feel like lately there's been a real tilt towards more of the darker, grimmer, more that kind of mood games, and those are the ones that are impactful.
Yeah.
I like lighthearted, funny things like that. I love South Park, so I'm gonna definitely play Stick of Truth once I'm done with the current backlog I have. Okay.
One of the few games we probably can't do a Let's Play of
under
here.
Best Action Adventure, Alien Isolation, this was one of the ones that was like a big release this year where people played it nonstop till they were done. Like, could not stop playing this game.
Really?
It scared the ever-loving crud out of them, and they loved it.
That sounds fun.
I can't play it because it scares me too much.
That just means you need to record the whole thing so we can see it.
Assassin's Creed Unity?
That made it on there quick.
Mostly the adventure of watching NPCs teleport places and fly around without walking. That's adventurous. I've been really enjoying the reels people have been making of the fails on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
People like, there's one compilation that was the best, and it was like people going to like jump down off of roofs, and as soon as they're about to make impact on the ground completely disappears and they just fall through infinity forever and ever.
Nice.
It's amazing. And this one guy made a compilation, it's like 20 in a row. That he did while he was playing, where he jumped off a roof and then just fell for forever.
Wow. Is this on all platforms or a certain one in particular?
He was playing it on PC.
Oh, okay.
So
that's just a mod.
Just
it's like the Zero Ground mod.
I still have not played Assassin's Creed Unity.
Neither have I.
And I have it on my computer. It wouldn't launch the first day, and I started playing Borderlands.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2, and I forgot about it. Anyway.
Oh, you got Sunset Overdrive right there.
Bayonetta 2 Sunset Overdrive. If you have an Xbox One, you should play Sunset Overdrive. Rent it, get it. It's so fun.
We should just bring it in here. Would you guys want to watch us play Sunset Overdrive and live vicariously through us as we slaughter, what are they, monsters? Zombies? All the above.
Bayonetta 2,
let us know.
Although I haven't heard good things about Bayonetta 2. I've heard that it's just more of the same from the first game, and it's not really a for realsy sequel.
I think Brian, our last roommate, spoke pretty highly of it actually when he was
spoke
playing
highly
it.
of Bayonetta.
Oh, the
but
first one.
And he was excited about the sequel.
Ah.
But I think right now it's exclusive to Wii. They haven't released it on another platform. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Okay. I will.
Jump on top of it, Kyle. All right, so what other groups do we want? Obviously, let's look at the big one. Who is nominated for Game of the Year? Bayonetta 2, big surprise. All the reviews have not been favorable. Dark Souls 2.
That's a good game.
I have the least experience with Dark Souls 2.
It's known for being an incredibly hard to play game. Like if you die, you don't get to like respawn at a checkpoint. You like start all the way over, or you start at least at a checkpoint, but without any of your gear.
Okay.
So it kind of sticks true to that old style of gaming.
Dragon Age Inquisition. It's so new. I haven't even really gotten to see it, play it. I think Rachel got to play some. Hearthstone. I've heard nothing but good things about. Everybody encourages. Anyone who's played Hearthstone is like, yes, play Hearthstone. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But people get really serious about it online, like the online playing. Steve said like he couldn't keep up. The players are so good and it's so hard.
Yeah. And it's kind of like I don't want to say it's pay to win, but you can purchase.
It's pay to win, Rachel says.
It's pay to win. According to Rachel, it is pay to win. Okay, confirmed. So I mean, I don't know if that has probably no factor into whether or not it's going to win, but
that way. If I could buy something like a subscription to Hearthstone that, you know, at a price point, like a monthly price point, you can pick package A, B, C, and that dictates like
how many credits you get,
or whatever. And then if you wanted to do microtransactions later after that, I would prefer something like that. That way I just have like a base buy-in that I don't have to worry about renewing and making purchasing decisions constantly. I don't
Too many little microtransactions to
I don't like having to make that many decisions in a game because it takes me out of the game. It makes me think about too much about like,
every second you're wondering, should I just buy this one thing? Should I just buy this one thing? Maybe I should just buy this one thing.
Yeah, and it pulls me out into the real world of thinking about like my finances and do I have discretionary income for this right now? Whereas if it was just on a subscription base, I wouldn't think anything about it.
Right. I think they should just, like, you should be able to connect, in the future, you should be able to connect your credit card to a character you're playing as, and they should just be able to, you should be able to run over to the ATM or, like, run over to the swipe machine and have your character swipe your credit card and automatically deducts from your card. So you never have to actually pull out your wallet or anything like that.
All right, I want to look at Developer of the Year just because we have to take a look. Although, okay, so going back, hang on 1 minute. Looking at Game of the Year, what do you guys think? I feel like they left a lot of titles off that list that could have made it, and I'm not sure why they chose the ones they did. What do you think should have been on the Game of the Year list? What was something you played, and it had to have come out between November 25th last year and November 25th this year to have qualified? That's a lot of game releases.
Yeah,
and
even in the last couple months.
For reals, and I don't think that they have included, I don't know. It seems kind of like one person chose all of those nominations. Anyway, so Developer of the Year, we have Blizzard, who they're showing at BlizzCon of all of their new stuff. As usual, was really wow-worthy. Everybody's super excited about the new FPS, which will come out when it's ready, because that's how Blizzard rolls. Monolith, Nintendo, Telltale, who are, you know, nominated in several categories for multiple games, and Ubisoft Montreal. Now, before we start hating on Ubisoft, Ubisoft Montreal and UbiArts is who brought us Valiant Hearts and a number of other titles this year that did not belly flop on launch.
Fair enough. And you were able to purchase it through Steam, I presume?
Yes.
That's good.
I did purchase it through Steam, but I still have to log into Uplay to launch. I don't know. It's
I hate Uplay!
Anger inducing.
Damn you, Uplay!
Okay, and anyway, so that actually nicely segues to my next thing, which is problems with Far Cry 4.
Uh-oh.
So I bought my brother Far Cry 4 pre-sale.
Okay.
And I sent him the game code and everything, and he got a confirmation for it from Ubisoft. They said, here's your game key. When the game launches, plug this in, confirm to his account, his email address. And then when he went to go download it, when it launched, it said that that game code was permanently attached to somebody else's account. So I logged into his account, and it's right there on his account, Far Cry 4, with that key. There's no way it could be associated to a separate account when it is that code on their server in his account. What the...
Turns out, I'm guessing this is not,
So
he's not the only one this has happened to?
It's really not. It comes up in their frequently asked questions about Far Cry 4 when I sent in a note to them to get support. The support people haven't contacted back yet, but it's saying that they're having lots of problems in their servers. Has anyone else had an issue with this? Is anybody playing Far Cry 4?
I'm not.
You're not.
But
anybody out there?
maybe you guys are.
Please let me know. Tweet to me. Tell me, give me your feedback, your thoughts. What should we do? Has anyone had any luck with Ubisoft or Uplay on a situation like this where they were able to reclaim a game code? We just don't really know where to go from here, and I feel really badly because this is the second Ubisoft game I've given him that has had this issue. He had an issue getting Black Flag as well when I gave it to him.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Them Uplay servers be going down. So it says reports began coming in that players were having trouble downloading the game. That's an issue, and getting its online components to function correctly. So I guess you do have to be connected to the internet to play it, or maybe there's an online multiplayer mode that wasn't working. People couldn't get into the servers. These technical difficulties soon spread to Ubisoft's website and had been affecting other websites devoted to Ubisoft's various IPs, like Assassin's Creed Initiate's website. Damn, that sucks. It always seems like this tends to happen nowadays for like a really big AAA title launch. Like all this hype building up and then error 404.
Yeah, I mean, people pay
Page not found.
$60, sometimes more, for a game to have the game at launch.
Yeah.
You usually pay a premium for it.
Right.
And anyway, it's just a bummer because I keep trying to give my brother games, and it keeps being a really, really bad experience for both of us.
Yeah. The next AAA title that comes out from Ubisoft or another like big dev like EA or something, we should do a video test where we have like Steve try to download, install the game and play it, and we have like maybe you or me like run to GameStop and buy a hard copy and try to install it with a disc and see who gets playing first.
Seriously.
It might surprise you, or it might not. There's only two ways that can go.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm cheering for them so hard. I really am. I think Ubisoft is they're developers and they're artists, and I think they're story writers, and all the people who actually develop the games for Ubisoft, I think, are some of the most talented in the industry. And it makes me sad that the way the company is being run is making it much harder for them to be successful. Anyway.
It's unfortunate.
Anyway.
Moving on to the science category.
Science.
Stories in science on Alt+Tab. All right, so what do we got here? It looks like Elon Musk watched Terminator too many times. What is that referring to, Jenny?
Well, let me bring it up.
Does he start talking like this?
That would be hilarious. All right, so
that why he
Elon Musk has bought stock in Cyberdyne
Systems.
That's not what you want
He bought stock in Skynet.
Actually, in a company called DeepMind.
This is Skynet.
Which I think they took from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
DeepMind, Google bought them.
DeepMind?
Is owned by Google.
Right, but Elon Musk invested
Google,
heavily
apparently.
in the artificial intelligence company. So Google owns DeepMind. Elon Musk owns a piece of DeepMind. And he says that we need to keep an eye on it because there could be a dangerous outcome there.
Uh-oh.
There have been movies about this, like Terminator.
I like how he adds the, like he's talking to his grandkids or something.
Yeah,
Don't you know?
Like Terminator. Well, people say a lot.
That's true.
I say
Well,
way too much. I need to catch myself on that.
Apparently you have the same problems as Elon Musk.
No, I certainly don't.
Well, fair enough.
At any rate, I thought this was really, really hilarious, just because I kind of agree with him. I think that AI, there is a pretty significant chance there that as we program AI to be smarter and smarter and more predictive, it's going to be, you know, amassing tons of data points that we can't as human beings keep track of all in one go, but it will be able to take all of these predictive data points and kind of assess the outcome of a given situation much faster than we can, and it may decide that we are too much of a danger to something, ourselves, whatever, and then go haywire and decide that the best possible outcome given a set of circumstances is to eliminate human beings.
Right. I mean, I'm sure
It's
they're
totally plausible.
and they're already working on, you know, like military robots, like robots
Which
for the
was
military.
the next thing I had to talk about.
Oh my god.
This one is from Microsoft.
It's happening.
This is a robot security guard. What could possibly go wrong? Good
Excellent.
news is the robot security guard does not come armed with anything, I don't think. Although it looks like somebody maybe has photoshopped in a gun right here.
He looks like Big Hero 6.
He looks like a big egg.
He looks like Big Hero 6.
Did we make this?
It's a Newegg security
It's a
bot.
5-foot tall egg.
Get on that, legal.
Anyway, so the purpose of K5 is basically just to be surveillance. So he rolls around, and I'm assigning gender to it, but it could be whatever. Anyway,
Oh, more like a
K5
female.
rolls around and has 4 cameras on each side to assess everything that's going on in the area, and it also has silent alarms and communication systems so that if it notices something that doesn't seem correct, it can notify a human being of the situation.
Okay.
You know, so it doesn't in itself have a gun, but it can call a human being who does.
So it's basically a mobile surveillance camera that has the ability to sound an alarm. Mm-hmm. More or less.
Yes.
It's not like it's got like a, does it have like a taser that sticks out or something? Then we know it's a male. But if,
Oh,
if
I
it
could
has,
be a chick if it had a taser.
all right, maybe that's a conversation for another story, another time. But okay, so this thing kind of looks like
I
Eve
just
from
say that
Wall-E.
because my mom has one. She takes walking.
All
with
right,
her.
that's good.
Anyway, don't
So-
approach my mom in public.
Yeah, right. So, like most security guards, this also has no way of really enforcing anything. It just has like a baton or pepper spray. I mean,
It doesn't have anything.
doesn't have anything.
It has the ability to cry.
But I'm saying, like, when you see
loudly.
security guards at the mall, like mall cops, I mean, they've got like really nothing on them that could really protect anyone, other than if it's just purely for self-defense. So this doesn't even have self-defense. It's literally just eyes and ears for humans that are too lazy
Yeah.
to walk around the mall themselves or the parking lot or whatever
Yeah,
it
I
is.
mean, it can roll around to like teenagers who are walking the wrong way up the escalator, and do not do that.
Yeah. I wonder if does it talk? Do you know if
Yes.
it talks?
It talks.
That's cool. I wonder if you can have it take your picture and upload it to your Twitter.
Yeah, what if that's the other use of mall security guards is having them take pictures?
That's a good point.
So you're like, hey, can I like have you send this to
Wow.
my Instagram?
Mall cops are really obsolete now. We have this thing taking Twitter pics for us. Mall cops are out of here. Well, that is fascinating.
Alrighty, so let's do some more Twittering.
Twittering.
I'm gonna go to Kyle's favorites.
My favorites. Da-da-da-da.
Someone is asking, Gamertag is asking what 4K monitor I recommend for 3 SLI 980. Honestly,
Jeez.
I'm not in the market for any 4K monitors, so I probably know the least about them on the team because my personal rig can't really accommodate 4K.
Don't think we have any 4K monitor. We have one 4K monitor here from NEC, but it's like a 23-inch, which is a terrible idea because the icons are way too tiny.
Oh my gosh,
in my opinion.
You get cross-eyed just looking at it. I like this Samsung one here that we have.
Samsung one's good. Let's see. I know of one from a competitor.
Everyone's hot for
Again.
the Asus.
The Asus 4K monitor is also really good.
It's called what, the Swift? Is that the one? We sell out of it. We get a pallet of them. They sell out in an hour. They're gone.
Is Swift 4K?
Yeah, the ROG Swift.
Yes, the ROG Swift, yes.
So I would say based on what I know from like Steve, who stays on top of the 4K monitor situation, he is after an ROG Swift, and I kind of feel like if Steve's wants it, it's probably worth having because he researches things that he buys probably 10 times more than anyone
the average
else
consumer
ever would.
Yeah.
So that would be my recommendation.
And you get G-Sync as well.
And
so if you have an NVIDIA video card, that's a huge bonus to keep your visuals nice and sharp, and keep them from tearing and whatnot.
They're saying it's not 4K, the RG Swift.
It's 2560 by 1440, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
So 4K, someone's recommending an Acer 4K G-Sync monitor. That would most definitely be a bit cheaper than an Asus 4K panel. I know 4K does make, or I'm sorry, 4K does make, Asus does make a 4K panel, but it's not the Swift ROG. You know, I'll just say, I know Monoprice has a pretty good 4K monitor as well. It's about $600. I think Paul actually did a video on it on his personal channel, it looks really good. It's got the only issue is that it has that tempered glass panel, so it's a little glossy. Not my biggest preference, but you know, some people don't mind it at all, and some people actually prefer it. So something to look into. It's not necessarily a budget 4K monitor because it's still $600, but it is a cheaper option than most others you'd find out there currently. So there you go.
I like this one. Dimitri Ali says, as long as we don't teach or show AI religion, we're going to be fine. If we do, then the outcome is Terminator.
That is a very good point.
C-Track, thank you for the compliment. He says he likes my new look.
Unless he's talking about me, because our names are switched. Maybe he's one of the few that doesn't know who's Jenny and who's Kyle.
Don't insult people's intelligence like that, Kyle.
I was just trying to give myself a compliment.
Kyle's new look looks very good too.
Jenny said I look older. Do I look older to you? Now I don't have like the poofy, the poof.
Went with less poof.
The neglected child look. Oh yeah.
You look about 19 now, whereas before you looked about 12.
I've gone up 6 years. I've almost breached the teenage years.
You've almost made it to drinking age.
Jesus. It's ridiculous. Growing my hair out as we speak.
And Brian showed me his chroma keyboard situation. He said all the pretty colors.
Someone pointed out that you actually look a little bit more like Ruby now.
That's weird.
From AMD.
That's weird because the reason I had to cut all of my hair off was trying to have hair that color. It's actually really bad for you if your hair isn't, and most people's hair isn't, you know, that color red.
Good point. All right, so what do we got here?
Fried it.
Should we move on to the next story?
Yes, we should.
In science.
In science.
Every time we do a science story, we have to preface it with that.
Oh, you have a science.
I have a science. So if you guys haven't heard yet, the Large Hadron Collider discovered 2 new supermassive particles. So this article is this particle article is for all of you particle physicists out there. I know there are so many of you watching the show right now that might interest you. So the name of these 2 particles is kind of funky. The way they actually do their naming system is Xi B apostrophe negative. That's the name of the first one. I kid you not. That's exactly how it's written here. And Xi B star negative, or star minus, however you want to pronounce it. But these are 2 identical, almost identical, near identical particles that are actually quarks. Quarks are kind of like the smaller building block to particles. They make up different kinds of, what are they called? Composite particles. So there's composite particles which are made up, there's hundreds of them, and they're still finding more and more of them all the time. These 2 being the latest 2. And they're all made up of 17 fundamental particles. So they're basically analyzing the standard model, which kind of lays out everything in place and explains kind of how all of these basic building blocks of life work together. And they're still predicting. What's interesting is that they actually predicted that they would find these 2 particles back in 2009. So based on the standard model, just from looking at how everything works. So it is a working model, and it does make sense, and we haven't found anything yet to disprove it, but it's an incomplete model. There are still other phenomena that have that the model as it stands currently can't explain, like dark matter, dark energy, multi-dimensional stuff like that. So I mean, I have a very brief, high-level knowledge of this stuff, so don't take my word for any of this. This is just kind of from what I've researched in the past. But nonetheless, it's still cool to think that they're still finding these new particles that have never in the human history of humanity have discovered before. So yeah, and it's good that these two particles completely fall in line with the standard model predictions, because if they had found something that contradicted the standard model, it would basically mean that we were back to square zero or square one, as far as like our particle physicist theories go, which means we're on the right track. We just don't have the full big picture quite yet.
Okay. And we are almost out of time here, so how would you like to proceed? We have 2 more stories.
Ooh.
I think we should talk about Comcast.
Let's just go over them really quick.
Okay.
Yeah, we can skip the one before it. So this will be our last story, and it's about Comcast. Many of you have already heard this, that they are planning on putting a cap on your home internet. So much in the same way you have a data plan for your phone, I have 2 gigs per month. Comcast is planning on doing the same thing for your home internet, which is absurd and terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, as it stands, everyone has access to, people that have access to an internet connection have basically the same amount of infinite data. It just matters if you want faster speed, you can pay a premium, which is fine. Most people are okay with that. But now Comcast wants to put a cap on it and say, you have 300 gigs a month, and if you go over that, it's going to be, I believe the number is $10 for every additional 50 gigabytes of data you use, if you want to pay extra for that. So it's really stupid, and the reasons for doing it are even stupider, because they really don't have a good reason. Even on their website, there's a fact page. It's like, why are we doing this? And they don't give any good reasons. It's basically, when you read between the lines, is we are the only option for half the nation because we can. And when you're monopolizing a business like that or an industry, you no longer really care about the customers, and you don't care about being nice to them because you can walk all over them and afford to not go out of business, essentially. So it's really messed up, and their argument in one regard is, well, you know, there's so many people online nowadays that's what's bogging down all the internet speeds, which has been proven to be a myth. I mean, we already know that ISPs are throttling internet speeds as it is. So, I mean, all the data is flowing through the same pipeline and through at the same rate. So it's a bunch of bull, is what I say. I don't know. It makes me frustrated. And South Park did an excellent.
Know the details.
Yes. We can. Can they hear it?
No.
They can't hear it. There's no cursing. I checked. I promise there's no cursing.
Can't because the rebroadcast.
Oh, you're right. Dang it! Even if it's a little thumbnail.
Yes.
You're right. Anyway, go ahead and check out that link. We'll put a link in the. Maybe I'll find a link right here. I'll send it to you, and you can watch the South Park clip. Many of you have probably already seen the episode, but it's pretty hilarious, and it's.
You can't put in links.
Oh dang it! I'm a mod.
No, you're not. You're just Kyle.
No, I was a mod earlier. Look, wait.
Someone took it away. It's been taken away.
Did you demod me, Rachel?
No.
I've been demodded.
Unmodding. It keeps unmodding you and Steve.
All right, something's messing around with Twitch, but in the rebroadcast, or just Google it. Google, you know, internet, South Park, whatever, nipples.
Comcast, nipples.
It's hilarious, and usually South Park is pretty spot on with that sort of thing. But yeah, so stay tuned for more information on that. We might have some updates by the next Alt+Tab, but for now, it's actually pretty scary stuff. I'm almost glad to be a Time Warner customer.
Honey, if you're a Comcast customer,
you're right.
A Time Warner customer.
You're right. It's all the same. Damn it!
It's all the same.
It's the illusion of choice that always confuses me. But these are dark times for the internet, people. Equip yourselves. Stay alert.
Yes, stay alert.
But that is
know that when you think you're making a different choice in internet service provider, you might be making the same choice. Again.
Again and again. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Alt+Tab. Once again, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Jenny.
With Newegg TV. Feel free to subscribe to our Newegg YouTube channel, and we'll see you.